Dear brothers and sisters, this is the fourth video of the series dealing with Hebrews, Gentiles, and the Kingdom of Adonai Yahushua. And in this video, we're going to take a look at whether interracial relationships or marriage is unlawful or sinful. There are many YouTube videos where Hebrew Israelites are asserting that interracial relationships or marriages are unlawful or sinful. And the passages that they cite from the scriptures as support for that view are from Nehemiah chapter 13, Ezra chapters 9 and 10, as well as one from Deuteronomy chapter 7. So let's take a look at these passages. Nehemiah chapter 13 verses 23 through 26. In those days also saw I Yahudim that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak Hebrew, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by Elohim, saying, You shall not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things? Ezra chapter 9 verses 10 through 12. And now, O our Elohim, what shall we say after this? For we have forsaken thy commandments, which thou hast commanded by thy servants the prophets, saying, The land unto which you go to possess, it is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of the lands, with their abominations, which have filled it from one end to another with their uncleanness. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that you may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance for your children forever. Ezra chapter 10 verses 2 through 3. And Shechaniah the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, We have trespassed against our Elohim, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our Elohim, to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our Elohim. And let it be done according to the law. So in these passages from Nehemiah and Ezra, they're relating their personal opinions that Israelites should not marry non-Israelites. Why? Because the non-Israelites might cause the Israelites to stray from Yahweh and worship false pagan idols, which is one of Israel's biggest problems. However, please notice that Yahweh did not ask them to put away their foreign wives and children. It was just their own personal opinion. They were not instructed to do so by the Creator. Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 3. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of Yahweh forever. Because they met you not with bread and water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. Nevertheless Yahweh thy Elohim would not hearken unto Balaam, but Yahweh thy Elohim turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because Yahweh thy Elohim loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity all thy days forever. So now this is a much stronger support, because this is coming from Deuteronomy chapter 23, where Yahweh himself is saying that a Moabite, someone from Moab, shall not enter the congregation from their 10th even to their 10th generation forever. And so this is a much stronger support of that idea, but it's referring specifically to an Ammonite or a Moabite. Now Ezra and Nehemiah seem to be quoting a passage from the scriptures to support their assertion that it's not lawful for an Israelite to marry a non-Israelite. And the passage that they were citing was Deuteronomy chapter 7 verses 1 through 5. When Yahweh thy Elohim shall bring thee unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou, and when Yahweh thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against thee, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. So this passage from Deuteronomy chapter 7 specifies that the Israelites were not to intermarry or have anything to do with the 7 specific nations that were cast out from the land of Israel when the children of Israel went in to possess the land. The passage also specifically says that those 7 nations were to be completely destroyed and no mercy was to be shown to them. However, this passage doesn't really apply to anyone today, since those 7 nations were completely destroyed. And so if there's an Israelite that is in love or is having a relationship with a non-Israelite, this key thing seems to be whether the Gentile is continuing to follow their false religious traditions, or whether they love the Creator and are willing to forsake their false religious ways and follow the Creator. In which case, if they're willing to, if they love the Creator and want to serve Him, then according to Exodus chapter 12 verses 48 through 49, which we already covered in a previous video, they are to be treated like any other native-born Israelite, and there's nothing wrong with having a relationship or marrying them or whatever. So let's look at the book of Ruth, because this is a very good example of this. Ruth chapter 1 verses 1 through 14. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Yahudah from Bethlehem went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Yahudah from Bethlehem. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other was Ruth. Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them, and the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that Yahweh had visited his people in giving them bread. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house. Yahweh deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. Ruth 1 verses 15 through 22. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and whither thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy Elohim my Elohim. Where thou diest will I die, and there will I be buried. Yahweh do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. So the previous passage in Deuteronomy said, someone from Moab shall not enter the congregation of Yahweh unto the 10th generation, forever. But Ruth is from Moab. She's a woman of Moab. She's a Moabitess, but she loves the Creator and wants to serve Him. And now she's going back into the country. And ultimately, in this book of Ruth, she meets a wealthy kinsman, Boaz, who has the opportunity to redeem them, and he does so, and in front of the people, and this is what happens. Ruth chapter 4 verses 9 through 13. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, You are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife. You are witnesses this day. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, We are witnesses. Yahweh make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. Ruth chapter 4 verses 13 through 17. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, Yahweh gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the woman said unto Naomi, Blessed be Yahweh, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, hath borne him. And they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. So, this is a very interesting book, because according to the previous passage from Deuteronomy, again it said, no person from Moab to the 10th generation shall enter the congregation of Israel forever. So here Ruth was from Moab, but she loved the Creator and wanted to serve him, and so she was blessed by Yahweh, and she became the great-grandmother of David, who was a man who was one of the greatest kings of Israel and was a man after the Creator's own heart. And so the clear implication seems to be that if there's a Gentile that wants to continue worshiping their false gods and false religious traditions, then it makes sense to not pursue any relationship or marriage with such a Gentile. But if there's a Gentile that loves the Creator and wants to serve him, then and is following his commandments, then that Gentile, according to Exodus chapter 12 verses 48 through 49, should be treated like any other native-born Israelite, and there's nothing wrong with having relationship or marriage with them, according to the rest of the scriptures. Matthew chapter 19 verses 3 through 6. And in this we'll get the Messiah's take on whether someone should put away their wives and their children and things like this. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that which he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore Elohim hath joined together, let not man put asunder. So I think it's clear that for a Gentile who loves the Creator and wants to serve him, they're to be treated as native-born Israelites, and it doesn't matter whether they're Hebrew Israelite or Caucasian or Chinese or Japanese or Russian or whatever. As long as they love the Creator and want to serve him, they're to be treated like native-born Israelites, and I think that's clear from these passages. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you get a chance to take a look at the remaining videos in this series. Again, I just want to say, according to Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6, Adonai Yahushua is the everlasting Father. According to Jeremiah chapter 23 verses 5 through 6, Adonai Yahushua is Yahweh in the flesh, our Creator. According to Revelations chapter 19 verses 11 through 13, Adonai Yahushua is faithful and true, and his word is the truth. We've all been deceived by false and idolatrous religious systems. May we all repent of the false and idolatrous traditions we've been brought up with, and cling in obedience to the truth of his word, the Hebrew scriptures. Thanks.